So just last week on the podcast in the sports world, everyone was really kind of assuming that the KD rumors to the Celtics, Jaylen Brown to the Nets, all of that was pretty silent now. That wasn't going to happen. There wasn't really ever a chance that KD was going to come to the Celtics. And that all changed Monday morning when Woj and Shams both kind of double teamed a report drop. Woj coming really early in the morning, then Shams coming a little bit later. But the essence of what they're saying is that KD to Boston is alive, and Shams reporting that an offer was made by the Celtics for Kevin Durant that included Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and a draft pick. It was swiftly declined by the Nets, and then Brian Windhorst of ESPN also noted that that offer was likely made weeks ago. There wasn't really an indication that this was like a recent offer within the past week or anything like that. But wow, it certainly sparked a lot of discussion. That was really the talk. It has been the talk in Boston for the past week. And it reopens the can of worms that I wished was closed, quite frankly. But let's reopen it. Do the Celtics really need KD? Quite frankly, no, I don't believe so. They got to Game 6 of the NBA Finals. They got to within one quarter of winning, going up 3-1, getting that third win, that coveted third win. And unfortunately, they blew that fourth quarter. But they came within a couple of games of winning the NBA title. If they win the NBA title, none of this conversation is happening, obviously, and people realize that. So it's the fact that they just simply didn't beat Steph Curry and the dynasty. Now that's why we have to blow up the team and trade everyone, and that's just how a lot of Boston fans react sometimes. And another note is that it wasn't Jason Tatum keeping us in the finals. It wasn't Jason Tatum helping us try to push to Game 7. It was Jaylen Brown. He was your main guy in the playoffs, in the NBA Finals this season. And he ended the playoffs with a 23-point per game average on 46, 37, 76 splits. As a 2, that is unbelievable. And the fact that people seem to kind of forget that Tatum was absent throughout the entire NBA Finals, and that the fact that we won 2 games is evident that Jaylen Brown can step up and he can push the team to another level, even without Tatum performing to his highest potential. And that was really the biggest question when people had at the beginning of the year. Can Jaylen Brown step up when Tatum can't? And I think that question was answered, which is interesting to me that people now seem to believe that's when we should trade Jaylen Brown. Obviously, there was discussion mid-season when they weren't working out. But now that it's proved that both of these two are extremely talented players, a lot of chemistry between the two, it doesn't make any sense to me now all of a sudden trade rumors are starting. For a guy that, frankly has commitment issues to both the city and the franchise to whoever he plays for, is not something I would like to have in Boston, quite frankly. And a lot of people like to point to the fact that Jaylen Brown wants out or is going to leave at the end of his contract. That was a ridiculous report by a ridiculous Boston source that has been wrong numerous times, that simply just tries to stir the pot. It's been proven wrong by ESPN sources stating that Jaylen Brown wants to be in Boston despite the rumors. He likes it here. He wants to come back even after his contract is up. So all of that is all BS speculation. That's simply not true. And so anyone who claims that is, a real report, I don't really take that seriously at all. But let's play devil's advocate for a second. Why do Celtics fans want Kevin Durant? Well, the biggest thing is he's a better player than Jaylen Brown. I don't think anyone's denying that. If you put Kevin Durant in place of Jaylen Brown in the starting roster, your team gets better. Just straight up skill-wise, talent-wise, without a doubt. It is tough in the NBA. If you just look back at the past, 20 or so NBA champions, it is tough to win an NBA title without a top 5 player or so in your league, on your team. So a top 5 player in the league likely is rostered on an NBA Finals roster. The LeBron Curry run that we had in the 2010s, even if you look at who kind of split that up, you had Giannis split it up, and you had Kawhi Leonard split it up. 2, again, top 5 players in the league at the time. it's really tough to win when you don't have that type of talent on your roster. It's not really a gripe at Tatum, but if you don't think Tatum is a top 5 player yet, which I don't personally think he is yet, that might be where you look to go acquire someone like that, and that instantly makes you a contender. Now, there is Tatum is likely going to be a top 5 player in the league in a matter of years, whether it be this next year or the year after that. Within the next couple of years, Tatum is likely to hit that, likely to eclipse that. So that kind of puts that argument to rest. If you're looking to trade for KD as a rental, you're probably doing it wrong, and especially if you're looking to give up Jaylen Brown, one of your cornerstone pieces, for a year or two of KD, it doesn't really seem to make any sense to me personally. But those are really the main arguments for why you'd like to make a move for Kevin Durant. The biggest thing is people think Jaylen Brown wants out, and it's simply not true. It's been proven wrong multiple times before. If that was the case and you said, would you rather have Jaylen Brown for 2 more years or Kevin Durant for 2 years? I would pick Kevin Durant without a doubt. But rarely do you ever see teams or GMs play that way, where they're just assuming 2 years into the future that one of their players isn't going to return and that you want to get the most out of those 2 years as possible. Jaylen Brown's only 25. He's got a good 6 or 7 years left of prime basketball, along with Jason Tatum, who probably has an additional 2 to 3 years of prime basketball after that 5 or 6 is up. You have one of the youngest and one of the best dynamic duos in the entire league, and I can't find any valid reasoning to why you'd like to move one of those players for a rental of a guy that frankly has not worked out in any franchise other than when he is surrounded by a bunch of superstars. And even then, if you look in Brooklyn, with Kyrie and Harden, it didn't work out. Harden has cited Kevin Durant, that there was issues there. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant don't seem to want to play together, obviously. Kevin Durant struggled with Russell Westbrook and OKC after their collapse. Even Draymond Green has cited issues with So there's so many issues with Kevin Durant. I don't know why people think that he would be able to come to Boston, probably the most critical city in America for sports, and he would just be able to compete. I don't get it. I don't understand the conversation, but it has to be had now because there are valid reports that seem to validate people's opinions and predictions that KD will be a Celtic by the end of the offseason. I hope he isn't. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but to me it's pretty clear.